E aí, galera do YouTube, tudo bom? Aqui tá tudo bom também. Estamos de volta aqui com o Vampyr. Nós vamos resolver aqui algumas pendências. Tem um negócio aqui, ó, 31, 32. Não sei aonde é. E tem a próxima missão, que é falar com o Edgar Swansea. Mas eu quero descobrir quem que tá espionando a Thelma primeiro. Mas antes de prosseguir, curta, comente, compartilhe com seus amigos e se inscreva no canal para me ajudar. Vamos nessa, bebê. Tá, diz que tem alguém espionando ela do lado de fora. Aqui não é. Descubra quem está espionando Thelma. Vou ter que dar uma passeada por aqui pelo jeito. Subúrbio de Blackwall. Então, vamos ver, vamos ver. Opa! Ó, ratinho! Opa, aqui pra cima? Tô falando que é ali em cima. Tá falando que é aqui, ó. Mas eu não consigo entrar ali, mano. Deixa eu ver se eu encontro outra coisa. Oxi. Tá, tem alguma coisa aqui, mano. Whitechapel. Aham. Tá, pelo jeito essa casa foi bombardeada.
It's locked.
Tá, está trancada. Vou voltar onde eu tava. Que eu acho que não deve ser aqui, mano. Deve ser lá mesmo. Perto do hospital.
Sir, no civilians allowed. I said go back home.
Tô ouvindo um bebê chorar, mano.
It's one of them! That leech is fast!
Cemitério?
Over there!
Ah, eu tava aqui antes. Deixa eu voltar. Eu tava... Eu vim por aqui. Olha, tem um lugar aqui, mano. Não vim por aqui, não. Acho que eu vim dali, ó. Mas deixa eu dar uma fuçada aqui desse lado.
Over there!
Tem coisa aqui, mano. Porque deu load, tá ligado? Sei lá, né? Comerciantes podem oferecer preços diferentes pelas mercadorias, dependendo do estado de saúde do distrito deles. Entendi. Beleza, então, né? Então tem uns comerciantes que podem cobrar mais caro, tô ligada. Esgotos de Stonebridge. Grave. Escal furtivo. Ah, pião. Aqui tem escal. Tem mais pra lá. Tá, essa porta não abre, isso aqui pra lá. Exterminem os roedores. Sem piedade, sem desculpa, sem perdão. Essas são as regras básicas para os membros da casa lidarem com os Skulls. Se você encontrar um extermínio, sempre que suspeitar que um vampiro está criando Skulls, denuncie-o imediatamente a Fergalbantia ou a mim. Skulls são um perigo constante para nós, pois essas criaturas desprezíveis não conseguem controlar seus apetites e instintos primitivos. O único caso em que é permitido poupar um Skull é se este provar que possui informações importantes para algum dos nossos projetos e planos. Em quaisquer outros casos, é a nossa obrigação expurgar Londres desses roedores imundos. A lei de Ascalon por Lord Redgrave, fundador. Tá, Lord Redgrave. Tá, aqui não tem nada. Opa, tem uns bares aqui, uns bares. Aqui não abre, tem bares, tem bares. Tem outro bares aqui, tem outro bares. Não tem mais nada nos bares. Tem Skull pra lá que eu ouvi, hein. Olha lá, ó. Como é que eu faço pra ir lá, mano? Como é que eu faço pra ir lá agora? É por aqui, será? Por aqui. Isso aqui abre? Não. Isso aqui abre? Não. Isso aqui, pelo jeito, também não abre. Tá. Tá, aqui é a saída. Mas eu quero ir ali, ó. Opa! Que isso, mano? Tá maluco? Que bicho é esse? Doguinho, parece um dog. Parece um dog, mano. The hell is that? Meu Deus. Vocês viram aquilo? Puta monstro estranho, mano. Será que esse é o monstro do esgoto? Ou não? Pode sair daqui.
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this.
Um texto ilegível escrito em braille, apenas com o título em alfabeto romano. Cura para a cegueira. Ok. Então alguém... Preciso de alguém que saiba ler em braille. Deixa eu só ver um negocinho. É por aqui mesmo que eu tenho aqui, né? Acho que é, né? Acho que é. Vamos vir por aqui.
I cannot enter.
Bosta. Ah, que bosta! Acho que se eu descobrir o que tá escrito em braille, talvez eu descubra. Né? Sei lá, né, mano? Opa! Cadê o ratinho? Cadê? Que delícia. Vamos sair. Tá, eu ainda não descobri quem é que tá vigiando a Thelma. Ela falou que tem alguém vigiando ela. Tá, mas quem, mano? Quem? Ela falou que ela vê vigiando ela do jardim, não é? Ah, mano, eu vou procurar no hospital ali, mano, mas não sei não, viu? Algumas habilidades vampíricas possuem maior sinergia que outras. Com outras, tente combinar as habilidades para executar combos mortíferos. Sei lá, né, mano? Eu preciso fazer as secundárias primeiro, porque elas dão mais XP e a gente fica mais de boa na história, a gente sabe mais o que aconteceu. Pá. É mais da hora. Eu curto mais fazer as secundárias. Tá. Então, beleza, ó. Sai aqui em Blackwell. Tem lixo aqui? Não é. Olha, tem um caçador. Hello, caçador.
Murdering bastard!
Ok. Tem sangue aqui, mano. Alguém foi morto aqui, hein? Tá. Eu não vou pegar nada. Tem um corpito ali. Eles estavam tentando entrar aqui. Não sei porquê. Cargas d'água estavam tentando entrar aqui. Vamos entrar aqui no nosso esconderijo. Novo esconderijo desbloqueado. Muito bem. Opa, não. Eu quero ver o que tem aqui primeiro. Preencher tudo. Ok. Deixa eu ver se tem algo aqui. Não, aqui é saída. Tá, aqui é saída. E aqui é saída também. Tá trancada essa bosta. Vamos fazer aqui. Fadiga, anemia, sepse, precisava de nevralgia. Bronquite, eu vou fazer uma, deixa eu ver aqui. Soro regenerativo fraco. Soro sangue, não, vou fabricar remédio, mano. Vou deixar 3 de cada. Cemitério de Stonebridge. Aqui tem escala. Skull épico. Meu Deus do céu. Opa! Estão matando os visitantes. Você só pode estar de palhaçada comigo, mano. Você não respeita nem os visitantes, os parentes, mano. Pelo amor de Deus, mano. Vocês não respeitam ninguém também, viu? Ah, cadê? Cadê a viúva em apuros? Cadê? Viúva? Cadê? Moça, mas cadê você, moça? Eu não tô conseguindo saber onde você tá, moça.
Somebody help! What do you want?
Eu sou o Dr. Reid.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoshun.
Xiaoshun.
Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reid. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Vou tacar os dinheiro aqui então, né? Já que estão tudo morto, ninguém vai meter. Nossa, a turma fez um belo de um altar ali, hein, mano. Deixa eu só ver um negócio. Deixa eu perguntar pra ela.
Shouldn't you go back home, where you'll be safe?
Maybe later. But for now, I need to talk to my husband at the cemetery, Mr. Reid.
Sabe o que eu acho que tem que fazer? Eu tenho que deixar o cemitério de boa pra ela, tá ligado? Tipo, matar todos os bagulho. Tem mais? Acho que tem, né, mano? Tem que ter, né? Se não me engano é aqui que o marido dela tá, né? É uma dessas daqui, mano. Eu acho. Não lembro direito dessa missão. Susto! É o rato. Deixa eu ver aqui. Tá, ali tá free. Mano. Tá vendo aquele túmulo ali, ó? Se não me engano é da minha irmã, a Mary. Eu acho que é dela mesmo. Quer ver? Ó. Eu acho que é da Mary, mano. Vai ter uma missão que eu vou ter que vir aqui pra falar com a Mary. Porque, se não me engano, ela se transformou também, igual eu. Em Vampyr, tem um lero com ela ali. Opa, vai ter sangue aqui, mas não tem ninguém. Ah, tem. Ah, mas aqui é onde eu tava, não é? Ah, vou voltar pra casa então, mano. Puta, vocês estão aqui ainda, mano.
Bloody monster! Sorry, sir. No admittance. Get him with... Out the way! Over there! He's dead!
Voltei para o hospital. Só ver um negócio aqui. Eu tenho como escolher minhas missões, mano? Ah, viúva. Vá até a farmácia. Eu quero esse aqui. Algo está de errado com o Thelma. Será que se eu for pra cá... Eu não vejo? Eu nunca vim aqui. Não, não tem nada aqui. Ela falou... É ali embaixo, ó. E se for no necrotério, mano? Pode ser o necrotério, né? Não tinha pensado nisso. Eu vi alguma coisa. Não vi nada. Ó, ela falou que aqui pra cima. Mas não tem ninguém aqui. É ali, ó, ela falou. Só se for esse cara, mas eu duvido muito. Aqui eu já peguei tudo. Ele já não é quem... Só se ele, né, mano? Deixa eu ver.
It's locked, all right. Good. Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Tá. Alvo errado. Esconda quem está espionando. Tá. Falou que alguém aqui no jardim. Mano. Não sei quem é, velho. Se eu perguntar pra ela. Falou, querida. Eu não achei ninguém. Deixa eu ver. Milton? Ah, não.
Good evening, Miss.
I'm okay.
Tá.
I have to go now.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Deixa eu falar contigo,
Good evening,
mano.
Doc. And good evening to... Goodbye, Doctor.
Tá, nada aqui também. Aqui é a Dorothy, ali é... a Thelma, tem que falar com a Thelma. Thelma, eu não sou dele, dá licença. Thelma, eu não consegui encontrar, velho.
Miss Hutton. I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Tá, eu preciso falar com algum doutor. Eu não quero falar com o Swansea ainda. Vou falar com ele.
I'm quite bit.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Tá, ele é o mais... Esse é o cuzão, beleza. Ó, acho que eu vou ter que falar com o Swansea mesmo, mano. Porque eu não tô achando ninguém aqui, velho. Deixa eu falar com... Ah, eu tenho que falar com ele. Quero falar com ele sobre
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Beleza, não
Beauty
ajuda.
is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Ah, não.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner.
Tá, então vamos lá. Tá. Eu tô perdendo uma pista. Que bosta, mano. E ele... Que ódio de perder a pista.
Daily routine.
Tá, eu vou falar com o senhorzinho lá. Dr. Swansea.
Please, Jonathan, come in.
Come in.
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her
Ah,
ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Tá, eu preciso falar com você ainda.
Do you need something?
I have just a...
Then ask her.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
Well, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings in the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
We'll see each other.
Ok, vamos catar umas coisinhas dele aqui. Carta de Rakeshadana. Ah. Ué, cadê? Eu queria ler a carta dele. Não tem? Ah, para com isso. Ahá. Hospital Pembroke, 4 de agosto. Caro Dr. Swansea, será um prazer gerenciar o necrotério temporário assim que ele for inaugurado. Como já lhe disse, atuei como médico no campo durante a guerra e ficaria honrado em servir meu país novamente. Sei que ser um médico para os mortos não é o mesmo que ser um médico para os vivos, mas também é o nosso dever acolher aqueles que se foram e cuidar bem deles. Garanto que darei o melhor de mim para realizar a nossa nova função com máxima competência. Quanto às minhas qualificações, sinto muito não poder fornecer mais nada valioso do que minha palavra. Juro que fui médico em meu primeiro regimento, durante a guerra, e que salvei muitas vidas na função. Se minha palavra não for o bastante, peço que entre em contato com a administração do exército para verificar minha existência e minhas habilidades. Eles confirmarão que, mesmo eu não tendo ingressado nos estudos da medicina, eu aprendi na guerra tudo o que um médico realmente precisa saber. Atenciosamente, Rakesh Shadana, ex-médico. Interesting. Carta de aviso. Hospital Pembroke, 25 de outubro. Caro Dr. Swansea, preciso lhe relatar minhas graves considerações a respeito do Dr. Thoreau Strickland em relação ao paciente Harvey Fiddick. O Sr. Fiddick foi hospitalizado após sofrer um grave acidente de trabalho. Ele pode perder o braço permanentemente se não receber tratamento adequado. O Dr. Strickland alega que pode salvar o braço do homem com uma cirurgia. Porém, eu acho que se houver complicações, ele pode perder a funcionalidade do braço. Nosso jovem colega é um cirurgião muito audacioso e ousado, e tem tudo para se tornar um grande profissional em alguns anos. Mas, no momento, ele não tem habilidades necessárias para uma operação tão arriscada. Não preciso lembrar dos erros que ele cometeu no passado, certo? E como o Dr. Strickland se recusa a me ouvir, eu lhe aconselho vivamente a proibi-lo de executar um experimento tão perigoso. Respeitosamente, Dr. Warville Ackroyd. Espécies raras de vampiros. Como estudioso e exegeta de documentos antigos, eu acredito fielmente na importância das lendas dos folclores antigos na descoberta dos segredos ocultos ou perdidos. Um dos erros mais comuns que existem é achar que a verdade é irrefutável e assim deixar de estudar o material só porque contém aparentes contradições. Por exemplo, precisamos aceitar a possibilidade de existirem espécies desconhecidas de vampiros, e precisamos constantemente reanalisar as verdades estabelecidas sobre os tipos de imortais à luz das novas informações que descobrimos. Por quantos séculos nós dizíamos que vampiro era o termo correto para aquilo que agora aprendemos que são Echons? Se não fosse pelos 4 exploradores da Irmandade que foram à Sibéria e encontraram provas de que os Vulcodes eram um tipo de vampiro lupino, até hoje acreditaríamos que se tratava da lenda do lobisomem. Agora sabemos que isso não é verdade, mas e o resto das verdades? E a história dos Rakshas da minha terra natal? E os Jegjins da China? E os Peltins do sul do Chile? E mesmo na bela Grã-Bretanha, quem nunca ouviu falar das histórias sobre mulheres que se transformam em morcegos e voam em torno da igreja de São Tiago em Louth? E quanta criatura que identificamos através de testemunhos obscuros ser uma calamidade, e que tentou destruir Londres em 1666, espalhando uma praga terrível pela cidade? E quanto a Nimrod, a mítica figura do caçador de vampiros incansável, que os Echons, anciões da Grã-Bretanha, descrevem como um caçador lendário que se alimentava apenas do sangue de suas vítimas, e que podia se passar tanto por mortal quanto por imortal? Portanto, lhes digo, meus irmãos, nunca podemos dar sempre por certo aquilo que sabemos. Às vezes precisamos esquecer, se for possível, todas as nossas certezas. De Desvendando a Noite, por Usher Taltry, Primaz de São Paulo. Legal. Tá, então beleza. Deixa eu ver aqui que eu consegui uma pista do doutorzinho lá, mano. Cadê tu, doutorzinho? É tu mesmo que eu quero falar, seu cuzão. Como assim você tá fazendo o tratamento?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I'm quite busy.
Have you heard about any blackmail going on in this hospital?
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Dr. Reid, may I help?
I'll see you
Que
later,
ela tá de
Nurse
boa.
Crane.
Deixa eu ver se esse cara
Good
tá
evening.
bem.
Good evening.
Have you heard talk of any blackmail here at the hospital?
No, nothing.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Chantagem.
Reads me like a book.
It's locked, all right.
I never could keep anything from her.
Mas cadê o pessoal que... Ih, eu quero falar com o Mortimer.
You always knew the words to calm the children.
Aham.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you heard rumors of blackmail going on in this hospital?
Dr. Reid, are you trying to take advantage of me?
Of course not, Mrs. Goswick. I'm just curious.
Well, go be curious somewhere else, please.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening.
I'm okay.
Have you heard rumors about blackmail in this hospital?
No?
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir.
Never could keep anything from her.
Tá. Beleza, aqui não tem... Pipa.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Tá, com ela não tem diálogo. Com a doida aqui tem.
Good evening, Miss.
I need blood, Doc.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Have you heard of any blackmailing going on within these walls?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reid.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
Why the Goswicks came here in the first place?
Tá quando dava pra falar, deixa eu falar com ele.
Good evening.
Evening.
Have you heard rumors of underhand dealings in the hospital?
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything. Especially what she shouldn't.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Disguised as a hospital.
Hello again, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Ela tá aqui.
I cannot enter.
Sarah Jones.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reid. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the eldest patient here.
Goodbye, Milton.
We are horrific liars.
Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reid,
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Tá.
This is no time for suffering. It is the last thing I need.
Deixa eu dar remédio pra ele.
Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reid. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. Still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
You're a monster, Mr. Cox. An ungrateful and disgusting man.
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reid. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, oh, I like that.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reid. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
The police may be slow, but they will find you eventually.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah, Doc. I figure you have something to hide so you can't ask the coppers for help.
Bosta.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in the hospital?
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though. Now that's where the money is.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now.
Tá.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient, or their family.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions, and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reid. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Tá.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reid, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off, they are.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones. Now.
Well.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired.
Tuberculosis.
It would be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
ela tá saudável, eu nem entendi.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
What can you tell?
Let me get...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Tá, ela fala isso porque ela tá saindo com o medo. Deixa eu ver a Crane. Crane. Opa! Estão aqui. Bora.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals, or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Ah, doutora Crane, você está se metendo com gangsters. Quando estiver procurando o cidadão, lembre-se de usar os seus sentidos vampíricos. Ok. É. Esgotos de Poplar. Bom, galera, antes de prosseguir Enfim, antes de prosseguir para a próxima missão, eu vou terminar este vídeo por aqui. Nos vemos no próximo episódio. Até mais.